a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because
I was
exactly
living
how
with
to do
a mountain
that, right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Mike Reviews. I'm Mike Reardon. I hate to do this. I don't want to do it. I applied for YouTube monetization. They told me I was ineligible because of reused content. The best that I can understand is that I just need to put my face in and break up the videos a little bit more instead of just doing my edits like I do. Great. Super excited for that. So I went ahead and I made a week 6 Johnny Depp trial recap video, and I'm going to pop in every now and then. Maybe it'll be fun. What a week this was. There was so much to talk about. There was so much to see. I wish I had more time in the day so I could edit more of these clips in the way that I do. To all the new faces, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for checking out my stuff. The first clip I have is Dr. David Spiegel versus Dr. Richard Shaw. I mean, this was the one they played all week, and this was the Rick and Morty guy. Oh, dude, it was so good.
David R. Spiegel. I'm a physician psychiatrist. And I'm not sure, the thing I don't understand is I'm not sure why we're arguing psychiatry, because I'm telling you what it is.
Dr. Siegel, you just need to answer the questions.
Okay.
Borderline personality disorder, histrionic personality disorder is a risk factor for IPV.
Less so. Less so. I mean, it's a risk factor, but less so, yes.
Which traits under narcissistic, before I move on there's only been one diagnosis in court of personality disorders. Ms. Heard suffers from 2 personality disorders.
Ms. Heard was diagnosed with that. All I can say is that cluster B traits, and I'll tell you what they are. And by the way, I testified this before, which was that 1, I don't expect perfection from my victims. 2, absolutely there were cluster B traits Ms. Heard had. Absolutely Ms. Heard had.
Given that you've testified to it before, let's move on to a new question.
Okay.
Are you a member of the American Medical Association?
No.
So you don't know what the ethical rule of the American Medical Association is relative to doing clinical diagnoses about individuals you've never talked to.
You're saying the AMA's ruling under the rubric of not doing eval with someone you did not see, and I'm questioning, I'm asking, so you are talking about expert witness testimony?
No, I'm talking about, do you know the rule?
I'm not a member of the AMA, so I don't read the rule.
We can move on. You don't know the rule.
Huh?
All right. At deposition, didn't you say that what you did was compare Mr. Depp's performance in lots of pirate movies against his deposition testimony here?
All I'm saying
Let me ask you about pirates, though. You compared pirates to the depositions given in this case.
Then I apologize for what I said. Then I misspoke. Because of what we know about each other, I would say your process speed right now is not slow. So, I mean, we're judging processing speed. I'm just saying to you.
Yeah. But no, any of Mr. Depp's other portrayals in movies, Willy Wonka, doesn't matter to you? You see him in that movie, Charlie and Chocolate Factory? Did you look at that one when you were comparing his processing speed?
Do I have to answer that question, Your Honor?
You have to answer questions. Yes, sir.
No.
Do you have an opinion of Dr. Spiegel's testimony?
My opinion is that he violated the ethical principles that are outlined in the Goldwater Rule when he gave his opinions about Mr. Depp.
What a great clip that was. All right, the next clip is Dr. Richard Moore, the orthopedic surgeon that wasn't there, never analyzed Johnny, never did anything. He just got paid to come in and talk shit. Great guy.
Good morning, Dr. Moore.
Good morning.
You testified that Mr. Depp demonstrated that his hand was flat on a surface. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's not entirely accurate, is it, though?
No, his description was relatively consistent in both, including turning and resting the hand on the edge.
Isn't it true, Dr. Moore, that when Mr. Depp did the demonstration in his deposition, he showed that his fingers were hanging over the bar?
Even hanging over the bar, it still leaves the dorsum of the hand or the nail vulnerable.
That's not my question, Dr. Moore.
I left most of this clip in. I wanted to edit a lot more, but just Camille's takedown is just so flawless, so surgical, so precise. I just love it.
My question is, isn't it true that Mr. Depp said his fingers were not laying flat on a table, they were hanging over the bar?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, you knew that when you made that opinion.
But I said that he had said they were slightly curled over, I think was the description that I gave.
Your description in this courtroom was that it was laying flat, and I think you've done that now twice. But in your deposition, you testified that his fingers were actually hanging over the bar. Isn't that correct?
So that's a distinction that perhaps I misstated.
Dr. Moore, is it fair to say that you have no personal knowledge as to how Mr. Depp injured his finger in Australia, correct?
No, I have no personal knowledge. My impression is based on his description. It was not in Australia.
Therefore, you have no personal knowledge as to how that injury was sustained.
Correct.
You also never personally examined Mr. Depp's finger, did you?
Correct.
Based on the pictures that you reviewed of Mr. Depp's finger injury, you cannot determine what particular object caused the injury to his finger.
Well, I can't determine exactly what object did it. I think that I can say with confidence that the described mechanism of the bottle hitting and shattering the finger was not consistent with the appearance of the injury.
I understand that.
And
My
I think
question is just very specific. You can't determine the object that caused the injury to Mr. Depp's finger.
I can't determine the exact object, but I can determine that it's unlikely that it was sustained in the manner described.
A bottle is a foreign object, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. So you can't rule out that the injury to Mr. Depp's finger was caused by a vodka bottle.
Well, based on the injury pattern, I can say that the described mechanism of injury is inconsistent with medical findings.
Right. But because a vodka bottle is a foreign object, you can't rule out that a vodka bottle is what caused Mr. Depp's injury.
Well, I can't rule out that a vodka bottle caused the injury.
Do you remember giving testimony in this case, Dr. Moore?
Yes.
And you were under oath, correct?
Correct.
Line 4, I can't rule anything out completely. We can't definitively say what caused this injury. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
I would object. He just picked out half of his answer.
You can redirect.
Yeah,
I'll
as
overrule the
well as the
objection.
paragraph above.
Dr. Moore, there's no question pending. Thank you, though. You said you can rule out that the injury was caused by a vodka bottle.
I can rule out the injury as caused by the mechanism described by Mr. Depp in his deposition.
But you can't definitively say what caused the injury to Mr. Depp's finger.
Definitive injury is a crush injury, but again, I can't say. I mean, I think that quite likely that the initial
Dr.
hinge
Moore,
closes about the fingers.
I understand that. But my question is,
I think it's important that they understand that.
this is the time for me to ask you questions. Your counsel will have the ability to rehabilitate you and ask you questions on redirect. Right now, let's try my question.
Okay.
I love it when she just shuts that guy down.
Right now, let's try my question.
Okay.
You can't definitively say what caused the injury to Mr. Depp's fingers. Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Redirect.
What I love about this clip was that Moore just finished getting questioned by Amber's team, and he was all confident and cocky and totally ready for anything. And then they're like, all right, cross-examination, and Camille gets up. And you know that he saw what she had done the previous week. He just looks sick. He looks uncomfortable. He knows he's done. He knows he's out. And I just love everything about it. Clip 3 is quick. It's Catherine Arnold. That's Amber's talent agent who, if I understand correctly, doesn't have any other clients at the moment. And Walter Hamada, the president of DC, and Richard Marks talking about Amber's career. And Catherine says, oh, her career was shattered by this defamation. Both Walter Hamada and Richard Marks disagree.
It's what we do in the industry. It's what you do to kind of get a sense of how much you're going to pay an actor, what they're worth in the foreign markets and the domestic
Ma'am, I
markets.
think my question was, did you know whether he was in Star Trek? You talked about breakout roles, but you don't know which was his breakout role.
Chris Pine's been an actor. He's been a well-liked actor. He was in both Star Trek and in Wonder Woman. And
Did a
Star
movie
Trek.
with Denzel Washington?
He's had a good career.
Yeah, great career. Much longer career than Ms. Hurt, right?
Was Miss Heard ever released by Warner Brothers from the Aquaman 2 contract?
No. You have an issue with the comps that Miss Arnold used.
I have an issue with the comps that she says she used that she didn't disclose.
What a great clip that was. Clip 4 is the trailer park owner, Morgan Knight, who came forward and testified a very different version of the story that Amber gave on the whiskey bottle story. It was a phenomenal scene. Elaine just completely stumbled all over herself. It was fun to watch. The guy was making the court laugh, and it was entertaining.
Mr. Knight, you are a pretty big fan of Johnny Depp, aren't you?
I am not. To be honest,
you knew this was on camera, that it was being broadcast to a lot of people, and you seized the moment and responded to the umbrella guy, the lead person for Mr. Depp's Twitters. Did you not?
Objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Umbrella Guy is the lead
You
what?
know that he leads one of the most predominant pro-Depp Twitters out there.
I have no idea. I don't care or follow the Umbrella Guy.
In fact, 4 days after you tweeted to Umbrella Man,
I was Umbrella Guy.
The Umbrella Guy. Okay. Well, all right, now we have this up. You texted something that had swear words in it. Would you agree about Elon Musk?
Yes.
And right at the end, Elaine just goes nuts, just trying to object to literally anything he says because she doesn't want him talking at all.
How did you get in touch with Mr. Depp's attorneys?
They got in touch with me.
Objection, hearsay.
Go on, Mr. Knight.
They reached out to me.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
I don't have an objection right now.
Thank you.
It's only if he talks more.
Next question.
And how do you feel about participating in this trial?
Objection.
What a great clip that was. Clip 5 is probably the clip everyone heard about the most this week. I mean, and that says a lot. This is Morgan Tremaine, previously of TMZ. TMZ had sent a lawyer to do an emergency stop of this witness because they didn't want any of this coming out. Some Hail Mary from Amber, I'm assuming, and the judge wasn't having any of it. So Morgan Tremaine goes through and testifies and just completely destroys Amber's story of, I had no idea. I don't know how TMZ got the footage. I have no clue. I definitely didn't leak it. You know, I don't even know how to leak it.
And while breaches of contract must be taken seriously, and the court does, any alleged breach is not germane to the underlying litigation here. That contractual action has no bearing on this case and is thus not germane to this litigation. Therefore, I'll deny the non-party EHM Productions motion to intervene.
I would ask, may I have the opportunity to object when Mr. Tremaine is questioned by question?
No, sir, you're not a party to this case. However, I will note for your record your objection to his complete testimony.
Morgan Cliff Tremaine. I worked as the field assignment manager at TMZ.
Were tips frequently received directly from sources?
Very often the case, yeah.
Who were the type of sources that TMZ received tips from?
Oftentimes it would be publicists, managers, agents, or B-list celebrities.
And while working for TMZ, were you involved in any assignments related to Ms. Heard?
I was. Ms. Heard was filing a restraining order at a courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. So I dispatched camera people to that location. Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
Did your team of videographers get the shot of Amber Heard?
We did. We received a video depicting Johnny Depp slamming some cabinets that was captured by Ms. Heard.
How long does it take for TMZ to obtain a copyright over something received directly from a source?
Something in the realm of 15 minutes.
How much time had passed from the time you received the kitchen cabinet video to the time it was posted on TMZ?
About 15 minutes. It was a TMZ exclusive. It means the TMZ owns the copyright to it. It was much shorter than the video that's been played in his trial. And there's a bit at the end where she's seemingly sniggering and looks at the camera. That part was not present in what we received.
Did TMZ edit the video?
No, not even a little.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
How did you know what video was shown at this trial?
I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
What a great clip that was. I wanted to make a full video on this, and I still might. The last clip is Amber Heard on her last hurrah, her last call to the stand. Rotten Butt calls her up first and lets her tell her version of the story, lets her cry, lets her try to cry, lets her try to convince the jury that she's a good actress, that she's the person who was wronged here, and that she's not the villain of the story. Nobody's buying it. And then Camille comes up, and boy, it was hard to cut any of this. I needed to chop it down a little bit, and again, I might make a full-length video on this one in the way that I do, but wow, this was absolutely incredible. I love Camille so much. She's amazing. She's just so good at her job, and she's so good at getting to the truth. I would say this is probably the penultimate clip of like the entire trial.
I'm not sitting in this courtroom snickering. I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being. I'm a human being.
Objection, Your Honor, lack of foundation. Speculation. Objection, non-responsive.
Your Honor.
Objection, non-responsive.
People mocking my testimony about being assaulted, making fun of my...
Objection, relevance. Non-responsive.
My dog stepped on a bee. I just want Johnny to leave me alone.
I don't have anything else.
All right, cross-examination.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple times.
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
So you're accusing Mr. Knight of committing perjury?
I just don't recognize that man.
So you're calling Mr. Knight a liar?
But I don't fault him. He wasn't there, so how would he know?
He testified he was there, Ms. Heard. Did you hear that?
That's his testimony, yes.
So you're calling him a liar?
I'm just saying he wasn't there.
Ms. Heard, you told this jury that you had no idea the press was going to be at the courthouse when you got your TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I said I did not have anything to do with it. Yes.
No. My question again. You told this jury that you had no idea that the press was going to be outside after you got the ex-parte TRO on May 27th, 2016. Do you remember that testimony?
I apologize. I must have misunderstood. I actually had no idea. Notice that I was filing the
Objection.
TRO.
Your Honor, this is not responsive.
We had no reason to
Move
believe
to
the
strike.
press knew.
And Your Honor, I would also ask that you instruct the witness to please stop talking once I lodge an objection. You actually had alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very day, didn't you?
No, I did not.
The one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face.
I did not call TMZ or any other news source or paparazzi source. No one.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. That information must have come from your team.
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that? I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it, and that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source. Yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because it didn't come from me. I was flying.
Tremaine
so
testified.
I know that's incorrect is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand?
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. The video came from you, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me. I mean, come from me.
Ms. Heard, you edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So that
if I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how
with
to
a
do that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that? Right. You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd. I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed. I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will come out in support of him and will fall to his power? He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
Currying
and I know
favor
that
and
firsthand. I've
risking
lived
jail
it.
time for committing perjury?
Excuse me? I didn't hear your question.
You didn't
Excuse
hear my
me?
question?
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind,
Curry-
please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have
For a
seen people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
You didn't expect
Johnny
Keenan
doesn't-
Wyatt.
Johnny has never
Ms.
actually
Heard,
said that.
Ms. Heard.
And
I think the
then
jury
King,
can,
yes.
Ms. Heard, there's no question pending. So you probably expected Isaac Baruch to come and testify for Mr. Depp, right?
I'm not sure I thought about that.
But you didn't expect Mr. Baruch to weep for Mr. Depp after what you've put him through and so many others with your lies.
I
did you?
relate to Isaac because he and I are
There's
the
no
only
further
ones who
questions, Your
cried
Honor.
on this stand.
Nothing further.
All right. Redirect.
What a great clip that was. Okay, thanks for watching the video. Thanks everyone. Thanks to all the new subscribers.